All right, what's up, guys? We are enjoying this nice weather. It is really nice out here. But what we got going on today is we're taking the Gravely back. All right, so like I said, we're going to be taking the Gravely back, and it's kind of a long drive, about 45 minutes. So we're going to talk, and we're going to go over a few things. We're going to talk about the Gravely first, kind of what I like about it, who I think this is a good unit for, because it's not for everybody. So without getting into full, I need to get going. But anyway, I do want to talk about my business, and I've gotten a lot of questions about how did my plan work this year. Johnny Moe brought it up a while back. He said he would like to see a second video on how everything worked out. And then I got another comment the other day about it. So that's something I do want to talk about. And so we're going to get right into it in just a second. All right, so we're off. We're going to go drop this thing off. And so let's talk about the Gravely Pro QXT for a minute. So I think this is a really good machine for somebody who needs multiple things and doesn't want to buy a lot of different expensive equipment. So like we've talked about before, it has the attachments, the 36 finish mower, the brush cutter, the aerator, a broom. I think it has a snow blade or a snow blower, one of those. I think it's the blade. Then it also has the verticutter, I believe. So for somebody that wants to get into a lot of different stuff, but don't really have the accounts or the money to buy a whole bunch of dedicated equipment, then I think this is a great machine. Honestly, it really is. For somebody like me, it's not really what I'm looking for, because I don't want to do a bunch of different stuff. I used to want to, aerate and overseed and do all kinds of stuff. And we did do some aerating this year, but what I ended up doing is just renting a stand-on aerator for a couple days, and then we knocked them all out. So I don't do snow. I don't really need the finish mower, because I got the Toro 30 now. So I really just, I think you guys kind of get my point. So I think you guys kind of get my point on the mower. For me, it's not a good fit, but that doesn't mean it's not that doesn't mean it's not a good product, because I never had any problems with it. I think the 36 finish mower cut really good. I was actually really surprised. The brush cutter was awesome. I mean, that was fun. Did a couple jobs with that. So all in all, I think everything, worked really well. I would like to try the aerator, but like I said, it's just not a machine that I'm looking to buy for my business, because it's just too many things going on at one time as far as different services. So that's just something I'm not wanting to do right now. Maybe in the future. But I'm trying to kind of narrow the services down and get good at certain particular things, and not just have everything open to where you take on every single job, all different kinds of jobs. So anyway, enough about the Pro QXT. Let's talk about my business. Let's talk about what kind of year we had this year. Let's talk about how it differed from the previous 4 or 5 years, and what I liked most about this year, and some of the things that I still want to build upon, and things I still want to change. So I went into this year with a goal in mind to have 50 customers that we do multiple things for. So whether that be irrigation, whether that be the weed control and fertilization, which I never ended up doing because I passed one, I failed the other one. By the time the test came back around, it was already kind of May or June. So I didn't want to really get into it kind of half year, because most programs start in the spring, even early spring. So that's something we're looking to do next year. It's just going to be just kind of keep trying to build. But services, you know, the irrigation was obviously a big one for me that I wanted to push this year, and also the, you know, obviously the lawn care, the lawn mowing. So my goal, like I said, my goal was 50 customers to do multiple things. We didn't reach that goal, so we ended up with right about 50 mowing customers for the year, and we actually ended up doing about 50 or so irrigation, but it wasn't for those same customers. It was different customers. So I guess I kind of halfway met my goal, but kind of halfway not, because I want those services to be the same customer. I guess it really doesn't matter, but it kind of does to me. I just want to have multiple things for the same customer and only have to deal with 50 customers and not have to deal with, let's say, 75 customers. You know, because the reason why, you know, to me I want them the same is I go out and mow, and let's say, you know, we're mowing in the fall, we're doing our last mows. I want to be able to do the sprinkler system as I'm there, while I'm there, not to drive to a different house to do a sprinkler system. So to me, that's kind of a, you know, it's maybe a little bit nitpicky, but that's just kind of my goal. You know, so we really didn't meet that goal, but we did meet our numbers goal as far as 50 customers and 50 sprinkler systems to blow out and start up. We didn't start up that many. We started up about 35 or 40, I think it was, but we ended up blowing out right around 50. So now let's talk about kind of the changes in my business this year compared to the previous years. Obviously, in the previous years, we had multiple employees, we had a couple different crews, couple different trucks, and just had a lot of stuff going on. And obviously this year we got away from that. So one of my goals for my business this year was to scale everything down and just to have like one type of customer, like, you know, small residential. That was my thing. I wanted to be the small residential guy, and honestly, we kind of did that. I got pretty good at saying no. There's still a few instances where I kind of got off of that a little bit, but I'm getting better at that. Saying no is a big thing to me. I like to help people out. I like to do things for people, and sometimes that gets me in trouble because it puts me in a bind because now I'm driving too far or whatever. So kind of back to my point is, so small residential was what I was wanting to focus on. Certain area was what I was wanting to focus on. So 2 small towns that are, you know, one is the town I live in, the other one is 5 minutes away. I didn't want to go outside of that. So in the previous years we did. We went to Wichita, which is the biggest city in Kansas. We went to Wichita and we did a lot of mowing there. But this year we didn't. We didn't do nothing in Wichita, and that actually, man, that saved me a lot of money. So windshield time, which I already knew that windshield time will kind of eat up your profits, but I didn't really know it was going to make that big of an impact, but it did. It was huge. To be able to drive 5 minutes from your house and start mowing, and every property is within, you know, 1 or 2 minutes of the other property. That's a huge thing. And, you know, route density, all that type of stuff. Like I said, I knew about all that. I believe in it. I just didn't know it was going to make that big of an impact. But for me, it did. So the other big thing that really helped us out this year was keeping our overhead low. So in the previous years, you know, you got 4 or 5 employees, you got a couple trucks, you got a couple loans on mowers, you got all these things going on that really take up a lot of money. So this year, you know, obviously we didn't do that. We had the 1 employee, and we didn't owe anything on any mowers. We didn't, you know, all that type of stuff. So it made everything so much easier. From the very start of this year, I realized that this is going to be a good year, because, you know, after the first couple months, you're like, you know, you start looking at the numbers and you see that you don't have this you know, a couple $1,000s a week going out the bank. And you see what's coming in, and I just knew, you know, I knew it was going to be a good year. We did a couple big landscape jobs this year that really helped. And that's something we kind of want to build on as well. But I think we're definitely on the right track as far as building a profitable company. And, you know, the things that we want to build on for next year is we want to get just even more efficient. We want to get a little bit more efficient. Although me and Justin, we did really well. We were pretty efficient, but I know myself, I can do better. I kind of got a little bit lazy, I would say, on getting things organized, like the day before, like what we need, getting the stuff gassed up, all that type of stuff. Because there was too many times at the end of the year where we were starting the day out, but we ended up starting the day out like an hour behind because we had to stop and get gas, and we had to, you know, we forgot something at the house or whatever the case may be. So that's something, me personally, that I need to get better at, scheduling out kind of in advance and knowing what I need and having everything prepared. That way, when Justin does get to the house, that we can just take off and go start working. It's a little bit easier when you're doing lawn care, or just when you're just mowing every single week, because you know what you need, and most of the stuff stayed on the trailer. We didn't take it off. We just parked it on the side of the house and we were good to go. But when you start getting into fall, you know, we started doing some bush trimming and things like that. Well, you need more stuff, obviously. So that's definitely something I can get better at. And so kind of what we want to do for next year is just kind of help build that up, kind of keep our target customer in mind, the small residential property that is like under 10,000 square feet, that we can get done in 15 minutes, 20 at the very most. We can knock out 3 properties an hour, and we can just kind of cruise like that. And that's just, like I said, we just want to build on that. As far as the irrigation side of the business, I want to build on that as well. And I'm trying to figure out ways to be more organized on the irrigation part. That's definitely something that I'm not, I wasn't very organized, so I didn't have a lot of stock on hand for certain things, and that really cost me. But as far as the irrigation goes, I kind of looked at that this year kind of as, you know, we're going to jump into it without really knowing a whole lot, and we're going to learn this year, and we're going to do better next year. So that's definitely the plan. So I'm looking at either getting a enclosed trailer so I can have all my irrigation parts in there, or we're looking at maybe getting a toolbox for the truck bed. I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at different options, and anybody that has any feedback that works for them, because I want to be able to go out and mow and do irrigation while I'm out. So I got a few calls this year for service calls, valves stuck open, or they cut their line or whatever, and I didn't have none of my irrigation stuff with me. So obviously you can put it off and tell them you'll be back the next day or whatever, but I'd like to be able to, you know, stop by there real quick, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, in and out. You have the parts, you have the stuff, and you're done with it. That's what I would like to have happen. But so I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about that. But that's definitely something that that we need to get better at. So all in all, this year was the best year I've ever had. Hands down, the best year. I had the less stress. I had the most profit. Just everything just went pretty smooth for the most part. The rain in the spring kind of caused us some problems, but you know, there's just nothing you can do about that. So so yeah, so this year, like I said, is an awesome year, but I just want to build on that. I want to build on it and make next year even better, and just keep building. So anyway, guys, that's the video. That's kind of how the business went. You guys have any questions, anything that I missed, put it in the comments, and we'll shoot another video. But I wanted to share kind of how everything was going, because I've been getting a lot of questions asking me and all that type of stuff, and